David, and welcome back to crunchyguitar.com, where today Peter is going to show you some all-important pentatonic scale basics.
Yeah, this takes us right back to the beginning. I just want to make sure everybody knows the pentatonic scale because there's an enormous body of music that's based on it, and it's a great starting point to expand your hearing vocabulary, and it's all over everything. So let's just make sure we know the pentatonic scale, and let's take the key of A, which is a favorite guitar key, along with keys like E and G and D. But let's take the key of A, so we're going to be on the 5th fret for this lesson for the most part. And I want to show the pentatonic scale, and I want to show a couple of little extensions you can use to expand it out a little bit. So we're starting here, and here's the shape. You're going to have, okay, this is the 5th fret right here, okay, and that's the 8th fret. Same exact thing on the 2nd string. So you got those two. So that shouldn't be too hard to remember. You're just doing 5th fret, 8th fret, 5th fret, 8th fret on these two thinnest strings. Oh, and there you go. Already you're starting to hear old 60s tunes and 70s tunes. Right? So it's hard to go up and down the scale without hearing all kinds of songs everywhere. So you got those two strings. The next two strings are going to be the 5th and the 7th frets. So the next three strings are all going to be that. Right? So now we've got 5th and 8th fret on the 1st string, 5th and 8th fret on the 2nd string. Then on the 3rd string we're going to have 5th and 7th fret. Same thing on the 4th string, same thing on the 5th string. Okay, so we've got, and then on the 6th string, which is the exact same note as the high E string, it's going to be the same thing. So we're going to come back out to here, which is probably the only awkward part of the scale. But we're going to take care of that in a second. And then you can practice it. Got that?
I think
We're clear on that? So just play a little A vamp, and I'll go up and down that scale, and you'll hear how well it fits. What will happen is, as you get the scale under your fingers, you'll start to pick up licks. Licks are like words, and the more licks you have, the more words you have, and the licks will become sentences. They'll become long phrases, and then you will start to find your own style. It's very, very helpful to copy other licks at first, but then you incorporate them into your own vocabulary and your own expression. Shakespeare used more or less the same words that we use, and he came out with clearly what was his own voice. So that will become that vamp again. So let's do this with some licks now. So I stayed completely in the scale. I did not play anything out. I didn't do any weird grace notes. I just played these exact notes. And it helps, by the way, to just learn one more thing when you're learning this, which is to put little extensions on the scale because it gives the scale a little bit more of a flow. Now on the top end, up here we've got this little fragment here. So this is going to be the 10th and the 8th fret, 10th and the 8th fret, on those two thinnest strings, on the 1st and 2nd string. And one more thing is this note here. Okay, and this is the 3rd string, and this is the 9th fret. So to go with this, and that enables you to do things like this. Excuse me. Or, so it gives you a little bit more of an extension. Thought? No comment? Am I doing something wrong?
No. I'm just thinking how doing that, you're doing a slide, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah, slide down. A great expressive technique in guitar, just to go.
Explain how you're doing
Yeah, I'm picking the note hard enough so that right after I pick it, I slide down 2 frets and you can still hear it. The opposite of a pull-off, kind of, or actually it's not. It's a slide up and it's a slide down.
The thing about it though is you have to keep your finger pressed to the fingerboard while you slide. If you slide and you lift your finger at all, the note goes away.
Exactly.
So keep your finger pressed to the fingerboard as it slides down through the fret. So do it slowly and make sure you can move the note around like that.
And it may hurt a little bit at first, but it will get easier and easier and easier. Like, I don't even feel it anymore. As soon as the camera goes off, I'm screaming from the pain. No, I'm just kidding. So we've got, or you can use whatever finger. A lot of people play the scale this way, which I do sometimes, or you can play it with your pinky. David always plays it with his pinky. And now one more thing, because I said before that this hit right here is a little awkward. It's also a little awkward sounding.